I want to talk about a few of your tracks
Okay.
that I really love. And this is going to be quick because, again, we can go forever. Blues Farm, 1972, the title track. I'll ask you the questions one at a time. First of all, the mix on that record is amazing for a record that's almost 40 years old. Or 50 years old. Why is that? It doesn't sound like it was recorded 47 years ago. I mean, that's just incredible.
Well, Rudy Van Gelder, who recorded that record, by the way, I would go out there early in the days of pickups, and Rudy was a scientific engineer as well as being an optometrist at some point in his pre-recording a jazz career. He and I wanted to figure out how best can we record the sound of the bass that was now being made audible to even the worst stereo systems in your home or a car radio. So I went out there for like 4 or 5 months every Saturday. And we would sit down, he would try different microphones. He would try different places in the studio. He had a great physical place to play this for the recording. I would try a different pickup. I would try to move the pickup that was no longer attached to the bridge somewhere else on the bass to find out what pickup picked up the most complete sound. How far from the bass would the microphone have to be to get the sound of the bass as it actually develops in the air of the room? How close would the baffle have to be in front of the bass so that too much stuff didn't feed into this microphone? And we spent 6 months on Saturdays doing this kind of stuff. And he would make us copious notes, and I try to remember whatever I could because I'm going to work somewhere else tomorrow, And ultimately, we figured out a specific location as near as we could, given the bass's sensitivity to weather and my hands and the tunes and volume of the band, those kind of details that were kind of out of our recording control. And we decided on X, Y, and Z. And my job was to kind of bring that to the date. His job was to remember what X, Y, and Z felt like on his side of the glass.
Right.
That's one of the first projects we had that came to that kind of audible conclusion.
Yeah. Well, see, this is all part of what your whole ethos of responsibility, man. There's a reason why all these things work. I mean, who puts 6 months of basically sound check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's just serious commitment.
Well, if you're determined to have someone hear that note that you're trying to impress them with being a very good note, they got to hear it, but they got to hear where it started. It didn't start with this note. It starts like 4 or 5 measures before.
Right.
How does this note ultimately dissolve? How does it resolve itself 2 notes later? They got to hear this whole process to understand the direction I'm trying to carry them with this bass line. And once you get it recorded right, then they're kind of on their own for their own judgment.